Hello. Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome to my session. Management is a two-way street navigating without crashes.
Wait, Clara.
Oh, yeah. So you will tell me to start?
The intro,
Yes.
Jack. So, hello. Welcome back to the Testing Summit. I hope you had a great morning so far and you enjoyed the first session at 9. Next up is Clara Ramos González from Spain, and we are very happy that you're here. How are you doing, Clara?
I'm great. I'm eager to share this time with our co-workers and the people that is joining.
Perfect. So let me just introduce you a little bit. So you're a seasoned QA director with over 14 years of experience specializing in digital transformation, team maturity, assessments, and mentorship while integrating professional and personal growth through your passion for yoga and meditation, which sounds really interesting. So
Yeah, that's right.
I'm really eager to hear more about that. And yeah, your presentation is about management is a two-way street, navigating without crashes. So I think you will share practical strategies for building engagement, accountability, and collaboration with QA teams through hands-on supportive management approaches.
Exactly. That is why we are here.
Okay, that sounds really interesting. I can't wait to hear that. So before we dive right into it, just a short reminder for all the viewers, you can vote for the best speaker and the best presentation. So I hope you will vote for Clara here. There are sessions all day long, so you can just enjoy and sit back and listen to all the presentations. And you can also leave comments. So if you have questions throughout the session, you can leave a comment, and then we can, at the end in the Q&A part, we can talk about your question and Clara will answer them. So, okay, Clara, the stage is yours. Enjoy, and we are very eager what you have to say to us.
Okay, perfect. Let me share my screen and presentation mode. Can you see my screen? Yes, I think so, right? Perfect then. So welcome to my session. Today we're going to review managing the testing team. Management is a two-way street navigating without crashes. But first of all, let me introduce myself. Who am I? I'm a senior QA manager. I have been in the QA industry for 15 beautiful years. I'm also a conference speaker. I enjoy very much getting to know my peers and sharing what I think I know and learning from everybody in the different conferences. I'm IT workshop provider. I provide workshops for teams to elevate their potential and to address some technical depths or challenges. I'm a QA trainer and coach. I train a team, different cohorts to introduce them into the software testing life. And I'm also a yoga teacher and a meditator, which I enjoy very much blending with all my work activities. But enough about me. Why are we here? We're here to learn how to lead by example, which is very, very hard, but we need to learn how to do it while embracing different points of views. That's why we are in a two-way street. We're here to learn how to increase engagement and productivity, how to tackle common challenges, and how to uncover improvement opportunities for our team. But let's start by the reasons one will want to become a manager. There are some very good, right reasons to become a manager. That you're great at communicating, that you take ownership for the task, you want to help others succeed, you aim to inspire people, and you also are very organized and you can thrive at multitasking. But there's some not so right reasons to become a manager, And that may be that you're bored with your current role, that you want more money, and the three worst reasons: you want things done on your way, you believe you always know best, and you like to control things. So, which one were my reasons? I was bored with my role and I wanted more money, of course, but I'm just kidding. I wanted to thrive, to build community. We QAs are great at communicating with each other, but we need to be engaged and we need to bond. I wanted to lead, to inspire, to teach. Of course, I love teaching, but I also love learning. I want to increase our communication. I want to help others and to keep growing, of course. But most of all, I knew something was wrong. So, what is wrong with IT management? Did you know that the first cause of workplace failure is ineffective collaboration? This has been reviewed, chosen, and tracked for almost 10 years in a row, resulting every year in the first cause of workplace failure. We're failing, meaning we are not reaching deadlines, we're delaying our projects, we're failing as working as a team due to ineffective collaboration. And also, almost 88% of IT managers reported burnout in 2024. Almost 80% of employees reported the stress. We cannot keep working like this. 86%, almost everybody, just a lucky 14% didn't, but almost everybody felt like the poor communication was the main issue for work dissatisfaction and workplace failure. And this cost only in 2024 and only to the United States community a loss of 1.3 trillion USD due to misalignment in IT, meaning to having to hire more people or extend deadlines or change projects or even lost our progress on whatever we have done. So we have a lot of sources for this. It's McKinsey, Gartner, LinkedIn, Salesforce, World Metrics, and a lot of different sources that says the same thing. So how can we be part of the solution? So get involved. We need to get involved. Imagine a two-way street. It's very, very busy. In one side, you have the QA team trying to make their task, to reach their goals, to thrive, to grow, to learn, to share. And in the other hand, you have your QA managers trying to support the team and also trying to provide for upper management and to follow the organizational goals. We have different rhythms, different pressures, and different things that we need to achieve and to be careful of. So that's why it may seem like a two-way street. So it can sometimes feel that we're going in opposite ways, but it is not like the thing. There may be two lines, but we have one shared destination. We are all going to the same endpoint, the same goal, the same finish, or the same achievement. So where do we often collide? Where do we often crash? We're going to review what I think there are the 5 common curves that make us crash or make us collide or make us seem like we are almost colliding and crashing within each other. So we are going to review this curve, but remember and have it in mind, there are no two lines. There may be two lines, but they're one shared destination. Okay? So let's review the first curve. Autonomy versus abandonment. So we, as QA members, we want autonomy to work. We want to work independently. We want to work in our own way. But we as managers are also asking for updates. Why are they don't updating me? They're not sharing the progress or the news or the important information. So let's try to meet in the middle, because both point of view and both things are very important. Having autonomy allows you to grow, to be accountable, but being able to update and share your information allows you to work as a team collaboratively and also to support management. So meet in the middle, have your weekly check-ins or your async boards or your status rituals. Leave important message before you end up your daily activities. When you're going home or you're disconnecting and you have something to share, leave it as a message. Say something. Don't wait until it's like take 1 minute to leave that message and then drop off. Okay, so for the team, provide updates. Be clear, be concise, be transparent with your work. For the managers, review the feedback channels. Don't ask a lot of times the same thing. If you don't have the updates, then you can ask to your team to provide them. But avoid micromanagement. This is very different action. Being updated, being informed is not the same as controlling how things are done, you know? So for both, use your one-on-ones to align on expectations, review your goals, and update as needed. Update your process if you think your daily are not working, or if you think your async boards are not useful. Share that information and change it, update it, be flexible. So let's review the second curve: delegation versus unloading. So the team, I have had team members that complains that I didn't delegate as much as they want. And I also have team members that complain that I delegate more than what they want. So I had to learn how to balance, and I had to grow as a manager to be able to find balance and satisfy this need from my team, because the team needs to grow with tasks that are challenging for them, but also needs to thrive on their task, not handling things that are outside of their scope. So meet in the middle, delegate with context, with purpose and ownership, not just to unload tasks, you know. So for the team, have in mind that some reporting tasks lands on different levels. We are all accountable for quality. We keep saying this to developers, and it's the same for us. We are all accountable for the quality. If you are doing tasks outside of your scope, say something. Say something. You need to be courage and also gentle and kind, and go and say it. I think this task is not on my scope because of this is this. And you have to say, don't assume your manager already knows and do it on purpose or something, because most of the times it's not like that. As you have seen, the first cause of workplace failure is misalignment. So align, don't crash. And for the manager, explain your expectations better. Explain why this is assigned to this team member. This is not a secret information. You can say your reasons. You know, you can share this knowledge with your team. Sharing is caring. And for both, don't assume, ask, meeting halfway with clarity and mutual respect. So let's review the third curve: inclusion versus overloading. Team wants to be included, but they don't want to be in a lot of meetings. So what can we do? Be involved just at the right point, just where you need to be, and not in every step. And for the managers, value insights, uh, value, exactly, not just attendance. So for the team, make sure you're attending to meetings that are relevant for your tasks. This is very, very important. I have had one team member, and she asked me to be in this meeting. That it was a sign off meeting, and she was eager to be in the sign off meeting. She has her reasons, of course, but it wasn't a meeting for her role. So I explained that, but she insisted that she was so into the project, so involved in the project, that she thought she needed to be in the sign off. I explained why not, but then I asked my managers if I could invite my team member to that meeting. My manager says yes, so I told him it was due to some I needed to have someone prepare in case of any absence of myself. So I invite my team member to the meeting. The sign off meeting lasts 2 hours, almost 2 hours. It was very, very heat. We had a lot of different discussions. My team, QA team, was about to recommend no go. Development team recommend go to production. We had this strong argument and a lot of finger pointing and a lot of blame sharing and a lot of sometimes some disrespectful comments were done. I had to stand up for my team. I had to back up my team, every action or recommendation. And at the end, business decided, because it is business decision, not to go to production. So when the meeting was over, I just grabbed a coffee to decompress a little bit, and then I called my team member, and she was really overwhelmed, really, really stressed. and she was feeling really badly, and she told me, I know why I shouldn't be on those meetings, and she didn't want to go to the next meeting. We have different tasks and different responsibilities, and she lost 2 hours of her time to work, and also 2 hours of her sanity and her mental health, because there is a reason why managers handle different pressures and different stressful situations, because we are sometimes are prepared for that. Okay, so this was a thing we had to review with my team members. So make sure you don't request to be in meetings that are not relevant for your work and even can be badly for your health. And for managers, make sure you don't request your team to be in every single meeting when they don't add value. Free your team. They need to have time to do tasks, and not just routinary operative tasks, creative tasks, exploratory tasks. We're QAs, we're curious, we're creative, we're explorators. So make sure your team have time for that, and don't make them go to every single meeting. My team doesn't go to the town hall, doesn't go to different meetings. We update wherever we need and is value for us. So for both, align. Ask to each other. Ask meetings you want to be drop off, and ask for the meetings you want to be in. So let's go to the fourth curve. Feedback versus judgment. We all say we want to receive feedback because feedback enables growth, but then we all feel criticized sometimes. So meet in the middle. Let's build and sustain a feedback culture that is bidirectional, both ways, and feels safe. We need a safe space to express our feedbacks. So for the team, be resilient, not resistant. It's a strong difference. And be proactive in giving constructive feedback to your manager. I have received a lot of questions regarding things that different teams didn't like their managers to do. And I ask, have you told that to your manager? I think this phrase is very respectful and very valid. It's a valid point of view. Have you told this exactly to your manager? And the response, the answer was no. I'm afraid to, or I don't feel comfortable, or I think I may create some future problem. That is all on your mind. Ask, share, be respectful, of course, but be honest. Managers, we need feedback as much as I needed when I was a QA junior, senior, semi senior. I have been in all of those roles. And for the manager, don't be so attached to your current methods. Those can be improved. So listen to suggestions. And maybe sometimes you can do proof of concept. So if someone wants to change something and you think it's a bad idea, it will not take as much time as you think to introduce it for one sprint or two sprints and see how it goes. Maybe we're wrong and it works perfectly and it's even better. And if you see resistance there, host feedback workshops. I have hosted feedback workshops for my team. I'm not inventing the wheel. This exists and is very studied, and a lot of different highly recognized psychologists has explained how to handle or how to receive feedback when we have to and we listen to other people giving us some insights about our work or our attitude. Both can have feedback. So I host different workshops regarding this. There are some lines that shows you reactions attached to feelings, and it tells you if you are being reactive or if you are being open. So it's like a measure for openness to feedback, and it puts all of our feelings and reactions there, or responses there. And if your team respond with this phrase, you will say, okay, you are here in the line. So you are being reactive and you are not open. It says by the psychology. It says by the people that actually study this, so we can use it. So for both, be open to receive feedback. And with my team, an example that can work for you, we established this rule that we were bound to respond to feedback in at least 24 hours. Feedback needs reflection. Feedback needs to have some time to soak in. So you need to be able to reflect on your feedback, to think about it, to analyze it. So we have this rule in the beginning: no response for 24 hours. Feedback, when receiving feedback, is your time to listen. even if you don't agree. That is not the important thing here, is to be able to listen. So we were not able to respond anything besides thank you. Thank you for your opinion, and I will reflect on this and I will think about it, and let's talk again in another time. So we used to use 24 hours, and then we were feeling more and more comfortable just reflecting on our feedback. So we changed it to the next one-on-one meeting. So maybe sometimes it was a week, and sometimes we didn't even have to respond. We were losing the need to respond on feedback, and we just analyze it and see what we can improve actually. So let's review the fifth and last curve: flexibility versus fairness. We want flexibility. We want to be owners of our times. We want to flex hours. We want to work on our ways. But I have had team members asking me why other team members get to do something in particular or get to have some flexibility that they feel they didn't have. But actually, it was for everybody. So you can have it if you ask it. So what I learned: meet in the middle, have clear guidance on what is allowed in your company. Just one cheat sheet about what is the flexibility, and then you can remain transparent and fair to everybody. So for the team, ask for what you need with balance. Be transparent, be accountable, and be very honest with your teammates. Do not hide your permissions or do not think it's something special just for you. We are all equally special in the team, so we all have the same benefits. Is if someone doesn't have it, it may be a good reason regarding to that, and that maybe need to be worked with this person in particular. So let's put an example because I love examples, and this is also a real example from my team. I had a QA member that used to be the host of one one mandatory meeting at week, 1 hour every week. He was the host. It was mandatory for him to attend. It was the defect review meeting with business, and we were contractors, so we needed to be there. And he asked me for permission to take his car to the annual car review, and he told me I will host this review. He booked it in the same time and day of his only mandatory weekly meeting. So he told me I will host a meeting from the waiting area of the mechanics car review thing. I took some time to reflect. I breathed. I'm a yoga teacher. And I told him, yes, you can go. No, you cannot host the meeting. I will host your meeting. I have some free time. I check my calendar. I had to make some changes, but I will be the host. And he told me, okay, I will participate in the meeting. I told him, no, you cannot be on the meeting. Go do your personal task, but this will reflect badly on us for business. So please, I will ask you to skip this meeting because we need to be with cameras there. It was a request from business and we need to be very, very present. And mechanics may need something from you and may shout out a question. And this may disrupt our meetings and it will be very prejudicial for us. So I told him yes and no, yes to go, no to host a meeting. And he had to reflect. And then at the next day, he told me he canceled the review meeting and he hosted our meeting, and it was he put the car meeting review for the next day. So if you can have it for the next day in the beginning, why would you do that? So be responsible, have balance, be transparent, and for the manager, share a guide with principles, explain boundaries, and share a calendar that we all need to maintain. Every personal appointment needs to be there, so put it. Okay, just a bonus. Let's review the final two crashes that we may have as a team working remotely. These are the real benefits versus not a benefit. Real benefits: avoid traffic and commuting. Be at home, be comfortable, your bathroom, your cooking, be comfortable with the sleepers. Do a small task to decompress, water your plants, put your laundry. Have a work-life balance. When you end up working, you can go running, you can go to the gym, you don't have to commute and do a lot of different things. So those are benefits. Not a benefit: working in your own pajamas. That's not a thing. Don't do it. A lot of psychologists explain why you shouldn't work from bed because it mess up with your head. It make you feel that you're not doing things outside of your bedroom. So it's important for you and for your mental health. Not showing your face ever, don't have a camera on, that's not a benefit of remote working. That's actually why people and companies want to take that out from us. So put your camera. It's you as a person doing your work, nothing to hide, nothing to do with your needed to not showing your face. If you have to go to the office, you cannot wear a bag on your head, so put your camera. Not a benefit watching movies during work, that's not a thing, don't do it. And scrolling your phone during meetings, that's so disrespectful and so prejudicial for you too, because we are addicted to dopamine, so control it. Breathe, breathe, and try to devote your full attention to one thing at a time. That's very important. And the last one, micromanagement or just management. Micromanagement, tracking login, logout time, monitoring obsessively the status, like if you are online, offline, away from the desk, controlling how the things are done and not just what in the results, but how, and approving every single small task or wanting to see every email before your teams send it. I think you may feel that you're parenting or being a good manager. Don't. You're taking ownership from your team. What is management one on one? Verify evidence, identify risk, verify the test scripts, trying to coach and improve, asking for updates as we saw, and leading the processes and the best practices. So remember, misalignments are not conflicts. Misalignments are signals of a two-way street needing of better signs. So how can we avoid crashing? Improving our communications. And how can managers improve communication? Let me give you just 6 tips to improve your communication skills. Unblock your team. Escalate when they are not being heard. Promote clear understanding. Long chats can be short calls. So if you see your team are crossing a lot of different messages in a chat, contact your team member in private and ask him or her to give a call to the person. And long calls can be right to the point emails. So if you are in a call that is lasting forever, be the one, that person that says, okay, let's wrap it here because we need to organize our thoughts, or we shoot an email with a with the key points of this and what we're missing, and let's continue when we are all clear up because time is precious. And teach the usage of group chats over individual chats. It's not your cousin, the developer, you're not talking about, or maybe it's your cousin, but if you're talking about work, use group chats. Okay, this is very beneficial for everybody. Encourage your team to explore the remote working communication netiquette. I'm not inventing this. This is a thing. It's a set of practices, best practices that allow us to communicate effectively within our team members when we are working in a remote environment. So use that. Make sure that you are being productive in your team. Remember, working remotely requires discipline, not just Wi Fi. We are QAs. Quality is assured through processes to best practices and to good communication. Explain better rather than faster. Devote time to your team to communicate, to set the goals, to make sure they are understanding. The goal of communication is not to speak, is to be understood, is to align with the other, is for the other person to be able to comprehend what you're saying. And schedule your one-to-ones. I used to think everybody had one-to-ones with their managers, and then I learned not everybody, and I was shocked. This is a great practice, so do it. And if you can have coffee talks for birthdays or for special occasions, that's great to increase bonding with your team. So remember, we are not in opposite sides of the roads. We are driving on the same destination. We have the same goals. Let's signal clearly and let's avoid more crashes. I'm sure everybody can relate at least with a few points we have reviewed today. And make sure these misalignments can be just resolved with one talk, one call. So let's create a safe space for communication. Let's avoid crashes and reach our destination together. So our key takeaways: delegation with context. Have context to delegate your tasks. Meetings with relevance. Meetings needs to drive value to every assistance. Autonomy with updates. You are accountable to update your team. Flexibility with balance and respect. Communication with openness. Be open to communicate. And feedback with kindness. Kindness will save the world. That is true. So have it, live it, embrace it. And remember, we always say that AI will not be able to replace us because we are curious, we are explorers, we are good in communication, we have empathy for each other, we care for each other. So that's why AI will not be able to replace us. But that is true. Are you being empathetic with your coworkers? Are you caring about each other? Are you being communicative? Are you being an explorer? Are you explorating? You being curious? Are you being creative? Are you? So be it, embrace it, live it, because that's the difference between us and machines. We work with machines, but we are not machines. And I hope this session has reminded you of that. It is allowed to enjoy work. You can be happy at work. You can enjoy it. You can thrive at it, and it doesn't need you to be mean or productive. And kindness are not opposite ways. So let's not crash and let's work in a good way. Okay, let's enjoy work. We are allowed to do that. So let's also connect. That's my LinkedIn account. I hope to see you there. And if you want to download the slides, you can visit my site, clararamosgonzalez.com/resources. I'm a QA manager, QA coach, and I will be so happy to connect with everybody here. So now it's time for questions. So do you have any question for me?
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. That was very inspiring. I'm working a lot remotely, so it was there were a lot of very good impulses in there. So yeah, thank you so much. Now, as you said, we have some time for questions. So if there are any questions from the audience, please just put them into the comments, and then we can talk about them. Let me check. So, okay, here we have the first question, which is, can you share one practical tip a manager could apply tomorrow to improve team communication? So a hands-on tip.
Of course, for just to apply tomorrow, and you don't need to wait any longer or anything. Have a one-to-one with your team members. Have a schedule, half an hour, and start those asking how do you feel. Start those with that. We have tasks, we have a list of things to review, of course, but to open your meeting with your team with one single question: how do you feel? And then you will get to know your team, and you will be shocked on how fast you can improve productivity and task and other aspects if you improve communication and team bonding.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great answer. So we have another question here. How do you personally balance giving autonomy while staying aligned with the company goals? Yeah, that's a
Oh,
good
it
one.
was a long road. It was a long road. It was not automatically. But what we did is just to review the outcomes and not to review when those tasks were done, and not to be so focused on time management, but be focused on goals and outcomes and productivity actually. And I do have a team that are they are very accountable and very respectful of the time. So this is no longer a problem. But as you have heard in the examples, we had to get to this part of the road. We have a long walk up to here, but it just takes communication. Alignment is like that, balance is like that. It takes some effort in the beginning, but the return of investment will follow for sure.
Okay. The next question is, how would you address feedback resistance?
In my case, it was a strong problem for us, for our team. It was one of our major problems because I was saying like, okay, I'm seeing you are focusing on tasks that are not your main task. You need to focus on the high priority task that I am assigning you, and then you can continue with the other task that I know you like better. And this QA member was like, no, I'm not doing that. I think that I do this because it's really in the start always and never listen to the feedback, and I host workshop feedbacks. So we did some workshops and we start sharing some tips from persons, from people that actually study about this and knows about this, and we start applying those. And the first rule we got, it was no reply was allowed on feedback in 24 hours. So the only thing that we can respond was, thank you so much for your contribution and your constructive feedback. I will reflect on that. We will not, neither me and anybody was allowed to respond on feedback or to explain why or to say what you think and if you agree or not for at least 24 hours. Feedback needs time for reflection and to consider and to think about it. And after a few sprints, we saw that was very beneficial, and we lost the anxiety to respond and to say why and the reason to explain and to defend ourselves. So we start not even answering to feedback, just reflecting on it and seeing what can we change about it. And this is something you can apply for life also. Whenever your partner or your family or someone tells you, okay, you are doing this and I don't like it or I feel like that, say, okay, thank you. I will think about it. And just think about it. And you can agree or disagree at the end, but at least think about it. Show some bonding, some respect, or some caring about that. And we do that in my team. 24 hours. It felt painful at the beginning, but at the end, it was a release not having to reply to the feedback and just thinking about it and seeing what we can improve actually.
Yeah, and let it sink in. What do you think? What's a good frequency on for feedback conversations? Like,
We
do
had
you think
once a month.
once a month? Okay.
Yeah, because we have it along in the same cadence of our retrospectives. So we have our retrospectives for the team goals, task, and the backlog. And we also host a retrospective just for soft skills and feedback and everything. And we do it with a Kanban board exactly as a retrospective because we are QAs, we need processes, we like organized things. So we do it like that, and we have it once a month. But I do have my one-to-ones with my team. So whenever it's something that we need to address more personally, or I think it's beneficial to see it just within each other, we do it in our one-to-ones. No exactly
Yeah.
particular
Okay.
time.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I think, yeah, normally it's maybe the frequency is a little bit lower for some companies, but I think it's yeah, it's a very good idea to just keep that going and do it once a month.
Yeah, it's not that hard. It's 1 hour a month. Wouldn't you
Yeah,
have 1 hour?
yeah,
Yes,
you
we can have
should be
one
able
hour.
to do
Yes,
that.
yes.
You're right. Yeah, I think it's yeah, it's very inspiring because I mean, in the end, we are working all every day, and I think it's not should not only be about the what, but also about the how. And I think you delivered a lot of inspiration on how to improve how we are working, and not only thinking about what we are doing. So
Yes,
yeah,
and I
I
just
really
want to
enjoyed.
remember I'm not inventing the wheel. It's very simple, but we need to do it actually.
Yeah, that's true. We have another question here. Let's see. What if a team member does not want to develop, just what to do wants to do regular work? How to stimulate him to progress and develop? So, what's the motivation?
Okay, we had different things. I created some badge, some QA badge, so just for the most resistant team members to own. And we have the exploratory QA badge, the growing QA badge. And whenever I see, it's just digital badge that I did myself. It took me like 30 minutes. And whenever I see a positive attitude, that things that we have spoken, I share it publicly in our channels. Okay, this badge for this person that has done this. Congratulations. Keep up the hard work and keep up the engagement and keep up the bonding. It takes me 1 minute. It's very, very, and it's a practice that I encourage that they do for each other also. We share flowers and badges all the time because I think there is not enough of that in the world. So that's what we do. But I'm a very practical person. I address resistance and feedback very directly. And for team members that are very resistant, I had to create a schedule for increasing productivity or changing bad practices that we had to follow with numbers, with dates. And if you don't reach that at this point, I'm afraid I will have to report you because you are delaying my team. We need to thrive. We have goals to achieve. So I have schedules for improving the tasks that they need to improve. And then I have had offboardings. I have done it. Difficult decisions, if made for right reasons, define a strong leadership. You are a leader, you are empathic, you need to listen to your team, but you also need to take difficult decisions. And that's allowed. You are allowed to build your dream team, and everybody will find the right place. If you feel uncomfortable with a team member, be sure, 100% sure, he feels uncomfortable to you with you also, with the team also. It's two ways, always, always. So do it. Make a increasement of productivity tracking schedule. 3 months, you need to improve this, real numbers, real tasks, 10% of this, more this, 10% of more test cases, 10% of productivity. You are reaching the meetings not on time, so I need you to see you on time there with your wherever you need to do it. And if it doesn't reach it, you need to do a word in it. But that's something we need to do. Everybody will find the right place.
Do you think what do you think worked better, the badges or the tracking? Like, did the badges have like a real impact? Were people like much more motivated through that?
Depends on the deep, how deep is your action, what you need to do. If this is very hard, is something that this team member in particular needs to improve a lot. Do the schedule and do the tracking and do your work as a manager. Support and make sure you devote to these people growth before you throw the towel. If it's something just to increase engagement and just to be on the same, the badges, of course, and the flowers and the hearts and and the coffee talks, being there for your team is more than that you think.
Okay, so we have one last question now because we are running out of time now, but I want to show this last question. How has remote work influenced one's ability to understand and adapt to an organization's culture and team expectations quickly?
It has influenced a lot, a lot, a lot, especially now because I'm a veteran. As you have seen, I have been 15 years in the industry. So I started fully presential, fully in the office, and then I eventually start working remotely. So for me, it was easy adaptation, things that I remember from being in the office that are good practices and that I sustain working remotely. But we have team members that has started remotely, directly. So they don't have this opportunity to compare how is an office environment and how is remote working. And we have a lot of memes and a lot of videos over the social media that promotes the things like work on your pajamas and watch your movie. And I'm working from this, and that's very prejudicial to the organizational culture and goals. And this is not beneficial from working remotely. You have a lot of benefits from working remotely. Working on your PJs is not one of those. Not be able to show in your face like you are the X person, the X factor of the team, is not the benefit of working from home. You have to turn on your camera and be there, because otherwise we will be doing this and scrolling all the time during the meeting, and you will not remember anything, or you will remember halfway of those. So just encourage your team to explore remote netiquette. That is a thing. I'm not inventing it. This exists, and it's a set of good practices that you can teach to your team, and you can learn yourself if you don't know those already, to improve your working in a remote environment.
Okay, yeah, you're so right. I think we're unfortunately at the end of our time now.
Oh,
So
just one thing. I just want to send a huge hug to my friend Miko, which is in Finland, and he's watching with his team. They have this setup where they even have popcorns for your A4Q annual summit because they are great collaborators to the QA industry. And I just want to send a huge hug to my friend. He's also a speaker and he's a great manager.
yeah, I think we have a comment here. So thank you so much. We really enjoyed your talk. For all the viewers, please don't forget to vote for Clara on the Testing Summit website. And yeah, Clara, I just have to say thank you very much. We have to end here, but it was very, very interesting, very inspiring. So thanks. I hope we can see you again next year. And I hope you will have a great rest of your week.
Of course, you too. Thank you,
And
everybody.
everybody has a great summit. Enjoy all the presentations.
Bye-bye.
Software testers. Move beyond theory and master testing with the AI-powered ISTQB add-on practical tester by A4Q program. The ISTQB add-on practical tester by A4Q equips you with the theoretical skills and practical competence to truly excel. Learn how to apply black box testing like a pro. Estimate accurately, write flawless defect reports, and catch issues early. The ISTQB add-on practical tester by A4Q complements your ISTQB certification by turning knowledge into powerful action. Visit our websites and find out more information.